This is the last thing Judge Juan Merchan wanted to hear. The words mistrial. By the way, also how about criminal prosecution against you? Trashy hack, Democrat hack. This could spell that it's over. As Democrats smell weakness in Biden going down and Trump going up, they're feeling weakness in their position. Okay. And then things will start to landslide in Trump's favor as he works and punches up. It's going to be great. The other thing is maybe they're believing what they're telling us, that they're going, Trump really is going to come back and seek revenge on us and prosecute us. Good. Maybe it's finally sinking in. Did it affect Juan Merchan? Mike Davis thinks so on the War Room while Steve Bannon is working all that stuff out. We're still praying for brother Steve Bannon. Okay, there's Mike Davis. One of the major fallouts from this immunity ruling is the Supreme Court correctly held that you can't gather and use evidence of the president's internal deliberations on his official acts, because that would chill his official acts, of course. Oh, of course. I barely understand. It's okay. They'll go over it 2 more times in this video, so we will learn, we will unpack it, and we will understand what Mike Davis is talking about at the pedestrian level.
So one of the major fallouts of this recent Supreme Court presidential immunity case is the Supreme Court correctly held that you can't gather and use evidence of the president's internal deliberations on his official acts.
Okay, so we've gone over a little bit of this. Look, internal deliberations come before it becomes an official act. So if you're saying, fine, the Supreme Court said he has immunity on his official act, but not on his internal deliberations, not on his unofficial acts. Well, all that would do is just take it out one step further. You'd have people investigating his lawyers, his inner think rooms, his personal conversations with Mike Pence, which came up in that trash Juan Merchan, Alvin Bragg fiasco. And that's what we're getting at. So we're going to start there. We'll keep unpacking it a few more times if you're not quite following it. This is important because this can make a whole lot of Juan Merchan's life really bad, which we're rooting for, that they go after him, criminal prosecutions and a mistrial.
Because that would chill his official acts. And guess what? That's exactly the evidence that Alvin Bragg and Matthew Colangelo and Judge Juan Merchan used in the bogus show trial in New York.
So if they used any of that testimony, the deliberations, and went after it, Trump could be immune on those deliberations if they're using it in a court case. And he has immunity, obviously, that gets either reversed or removed or corrected.
Along with many, many other reasons that for this case getting reversed on appeal, it looks like this Trump presidential immunity case has stopped that New York case in its tracks, where I think Judge Merchan is at a minimum going to have to declare a mistrial.
This thing came to a stop and left black road tracks like a redneck over a rainbow crosswalk.
Because they introduced evidence that the Supreme Court just said they're not allowed to introduce because it interferes with the official duties of the President of the United States and has a chilling effect on the ability of the President to do his job if he has to explain his internal decision-making process to Congress or courts.
This is where it truly is a Democrat thing, because they'll always give up liberty for safety, right? They'll go, but we'd rather the president not have the liberty to have these kinds of conversations and inner deliberations within his thing, because we have the chance that every once in a blue moon, he's going to do something that he oughtn't have immunity for. You know what I mean? You're either protecting his ability to do his job, or you're bringing in cameras and lawyers and lawsuits to get him to be afraid to move right or left. That's what the Democrats want. They want to turn everything into a giant human resources department. You just want to go to work, and maybe you say some bad words in the office, and they want you to be terrified of doing your job.
So you could see a mistrial here. They just delayed the July 11th sentencing. Maybe this Judge Merchan's finally coming to his senses, and maybe he should understand that he's going to face a criminal probe, or he should face a criminal probe under the Trump 47 Justice Department for his for being part of a criminal conspiracy.
I say bust him. Why even have a criminal probe? Why not? Let's just start the lawsuit now. That's what Democrats do. Just get on it. It's not, don't give me this criminal. Look, just privately try him. Civil case. I don't care. How about just because he looks funny? No, he's terrible. Criminal probe. Lock this guy up. Juan Merchan, you better make sure you follow the law, because Trump 47, when he gets into office, we are coming for you, and I approve. Whatever, to the degree that you judge others, you shall be judged. I'm only saying, I hope you get the same amount of justice as you dished out to Trump. I hope you get the same amount of following the law, following jurisprudence, having a jury pool that is as fair as Trump's. That is, when you're up against 12 MAGA jurists, that's about what Trump had to go against with the Democrat jurists in New York. I hope you get the same. 12 MAGA jurists wearing rebel flags.
To violate President Trump's constitutional rights, which is a very serious federal civil rights felony, 18 U.S.C. 241 and 242, and judges are not immune. Nobody's above the law, as they say.
I love that. No one's above the law. Hey, Merchan's going, you can't do that to me. This is me operating within my job. Oh, no, you're not above the law. No one's above the law. We're going to say that every time we hunt and prosecute and sue and litigate every Democrat. They're going to say, this is a clown show. This is political warfare. You go, no, no, no. No one's above the law, remember? I'm just going to run videos of them saying it all day. No one's above the law.
On the Democrat side, well, judges are certainly not above the law when they're conspiring with a Soros-funded Manhattan DA, Alvin Bragg, and an Obama and Biden senior political appointee, Matthew Colangelo, to violate Trump's constitutional rights.
We're going after them too, especially that Colangelo guy. He's the real bag man. Remember the guy that took the demotion to go work in Alvin Bragg's office practically as his secretary?
This whole house of cards, this whole Biden Democrat lawfare and election interference house of cards is collapsing, and collapsing fast.
Why is it collapsing? Because it's not grounded and rooted in solid things, in the proper conservative way that we've looked at the law, that is very careful, very reluctant to just prosecute someone, where we'd rather have someone guilty go free than jail someone who's innocent. None of that kind of carefulness, this was all retribution. This was always just that pragmatic ends justify any means. The end is we want Trump in prison, or we want him off the campaign trail. And now we just reverse engineer all these court cases to get our wishes. That's not justice. That's not how America works. That's not how the system is supposed to work. That's why this thing should be called a mistrial. I'm praying it so. I'm praying that America gets back on its feet. Why? It's not just for the sake of my family. It's for the sake of my enemy's family. Democrats, when the power goes out and we're all going to cannibalism, you too will be eaten. The pacifist always thinks the crocodile will eat him last. And I got bad news for you guys. The kinds of corruption you're putting into the system, the kinds of radical stuff, because you guys are basically atheistic, materialists. You don't even believe in the rule of law, not even natural law. Post Rousseau, none of you guys believe in any of this immaterial law or rule of law. You're destroying something that will harm more than just your enemies. It's going to harm you. I'm Doug in Exile. Subscribe.